Good afternoon. Welcome to the Global Pulse New, the place where information comes to life. Today we are joined by Ana Nichim, Jimena, Aarón Vázquez, and I am Mateo Garcia. Today we are going to talk about a very important topic that many people are discussing around the world: climate change. Climate change is a long-term change in the Earth climate caused by the increase in global temperature. This mainly happens because of human activities such as burning fossil fuels, using factories, and cutting down too many trees. These actions produce gases that remain in the atmosphere and trap heat. This process is known as the greenhouse effect. This problem does not only affect adults, but also young people, who see that the planet is in danger and decide to take action. One clear example is Francisco Javier Vera Manzanares, a young environmental activist from Colombia. Now, my colleague Chana will tell you more about this young environmentalist.
Thank you, Mateo. Francisco Vera Manzanares is a young Colombian environmental activist who is internationally recognized for his work in defending the environment and working to defend our climate change. He was born on April 12 in 2009 in Bogota, and from a very early age he was shown a strong concern for the future of the planet. In addition, Francisco is a founder of the movement of Guardians for Life, an initiative that he created when he was only 9 years old. This project aims to raise the environmental awareness, especially among children and young people, encouraging them to actively participate in caring for the nature and protection of our natural resources. His interest in environmental issues began at a very early age when he observed problems such as pollution, deforestation, and damage to the ecosystem. For example, he became aware of the world, which inspired him to take action. As a result, he started to learn more about these issues, participating in environmental activities, and eventually become an active voice that promotes the protection of the planet. Another important thing is that Francisco focused on helping to address the environmental crisis, especially climate change and its consequences of it, like pollution and biodiversity. Through his movement and social media, he worked to educate society and encourage governments to take more responsibilities of their decisions. He believes that actions speak louder than words, so he not only talk, he solve the problem and take action. Finally, Francisco Javier Vera Manzanares is a clear example of how young people can make a positive impact in the world. His history shows that interest, knowledge, and action can come together to create an important part of the planet. And at the end, every little bit helps when it comes to protection of our environment. Now we go to Aarón.
One of the main environment problems today is the climate change, especially the global warming. This phenomenon refers to the increase in the air temperature due to the accumulation of polluting gases in the atmosphere, a process known as the greenhouse effect. These gases, such as carbon dioxide, are mainly produced by human activities, like during fossil fuels, using factories, transportation, and the deforestation. Global warming is a big problem because it is causing more and more clear change in the air climate. In recent years, there has been a constant increase in the temperature, leading to more strong and dangerous heat waves. Also, rainfall patterns have changed, causing droughts in some places and heavy rains in others, which cause floods. Another important consequence is the melting of glaciers and polar ice, which contributes to the rise in the sea level. This represents a risk for many coastal cities, as they could face permanent flooding in the future. Moreover, there has been an increase in the frequency and intensity of natural events such as hurricanes, wildfires, and storms. This problem is very important because it directly affects people. For example, extreme heat can cause illness, dehydration, and respiratory problems, whereas storage and crops losses all affect food supply and the economy, especially in vulnerable communities. In addition, many people are forced to move due to the natural disaster, which creates social challenge. Animals are also serious affected since change in temperature alters their natural habitat. Some species are vulnerable to adapt and are at risk to extinction. For intense and melting of polar ice affect species that depend on ice to survive. These create are imbalance in the ecosystem, since all species are connected. Now we turn to my colleague Jimena, who will discuss Franco's contributions.
In addition, this situation is being addressed, as we mentioned before, by Francisco Javier Vera Manzanares. From a very young age, Francisco has shown a strong interest in caring for the environment, which led him to take action instead of just worrying about the problem. One of his most important initiatives was the creation of the movement Guardians for Life, with the goal of involving children and young people in protecting the planet and fighting climate change. Through this movement, he has organized different activities such as cleanup campaigns in parks, streets, and natural areas where not only is trash collected, but awareness is also raised about the importance of not polluting. These actions directly reduce pollution and improve the environment. Moreover, he has promoted awareness campaigns using social media, interviews, and public spaces, where he informs people about the issues such as global warming, deforestation, and pollution. Thanks to this, more people understand the seriousness of the situation and adopt more responsible habits in their daily lives. Another more important aspect of his work is the environmental education. Francisco aims to explain this topic in a clear and simple way so more people can, especially young people, understand this problem. By educating others, a multiplier effect is created since each informed person informs their surroundings. Back to you, Mateo.
As we have seen throughout this report, climate change is a real problem that affects the entire planet and all living beings. We explained how global warming is causing important change in the climate and affecting people, animals, and the balance of nature. We also learned about the work of Francisco Javier Vera Manzanares, who has shown that young people can play a very important role in protecting the environmental. Young environmental activists are essential because they represent the new generations who will live with the consequence of this problem. Their energy, commitment, and concern for the future make them agents of change. For this reason, it's very important for each of you to take small actions in your daily lives, such as reducing pollution, saving water, recycling, and respecting nature. If we all work together, it's possible to create a positive change and protect the planet for future generations. Thank you for watching Global Pulse News.